Welcome, everybody. My name's Jared. I will be your Lunch and Learn host for today. So if you have any questions, feel free to type in the chat, or if you have a question, I'll allow you to come off mute, and then you can go ahead and elaborate on your inquiry. Welcome, new attendees. We are working on the Lunch and Learn, and if you have any questions, feel free to raise your hand. Let me know if you want to ask a question, and I'll give you the permission to talk, and I'll answer your question to the best of my ability. If I could demonstrate it, I will. Or if it's something that I have documentation for, I'll also share that as well. Carter asks, what is the correct method for populating a dynamic image from the image library on a form? What is the correct method? It's kind of more, well, let me allow you to talk. Could you expound upon that? Because there's not really a correct way. It's more of like, there's many ways. It just depends on your circumstance.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I've got is got a form. Someone's typing into a box. We've got an API call to verify what they typed in was correct. If the API call verifies that it's correct, we want one image. If it's wrong, we want a different image. And we're using the built-in image shapes in decisions. And I'm trying to, set the control value and use the image data as an input, but I don't know how to reference the image that I want with that image data.
With the image data, let's see. Where is? Let me find. I'm gonna move this to this screen right here. Let's see. Where are all those images located? There is.
I think it's like system. I tried to find it on old Lunch and Learns, but couldn't.
Images.
Yeah.
All right. So we got it here. What is it? Here. Go ahead. I'm listening.
I don't have access to this.
You don't have access to this?
No.
But you want to get access to the image folder, correct?
I have access to the image folder, but not the folder in and of itself within decisions. That makes sense. Like I can access the images, but I can't access the settings tab on the designer.
Oh, got you. You can't ask if you. Oh, okay, I gotcha. Because what I would do, since we know it's named images, let's see. What we can do is we can say they're going to be documents, right? So let me go ahead. I'm going to run this thing and say this is getting default img imgs, and we'll make the flows forms. Well, I got this here, and then what you can do. Let me go to my flow. Create a flow. Flow get default img flow, and then what we can do is you can say fetch. I think they're all documents. Like, correct me if I'm wrong. Any of my internal team, I think they're all referenced as documents, but I could be wrong. That's not what I want. We shall investigate together and find out. So since I have access to it, I will use this to my advantage and identify what the data type is. Images. Okay, we'll go to this folder. What is this? Yeah, but tell me what it is. Tell me. Let's see, folder ID is shared images. Okay, that's just that part. Okay, so I guess we'll do this from a folder. So we got the ID of it there. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna guess and say they're documents. So they may not be, they could be something else, but we'll find out. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say, hey, I wanna fetch everything by the entity folder ID, which just means the ID of the folder where that image resides. So it's basically its containing folder. So I'm gonna set this as a constant, paste this part, image folder, and I wonder if that's even the correct ID. It may not like it because it's got the, what do you call it? Yeah, it didn't like it because I don't think it doesn't like that part. So here's what I'm gonna do. Let me go find the name of this thing, go to the query editor, and it's gonna be select asterisk from entity underscore folder where entity underscore name equals images. I think that's how it's named. We should find it. Okay, so it's just without the spaces. That's what it was. Okay, because it's URL encoded. I'm gonna grab another tab and figure this out. Wrong one. Go here. So we just remove these pluses and replace them with spaces, and then we can debug this. Still no results, but it is. That is right? Hold on, let me look at my query again. Shared images folder, that's the folder ID. Unless maybe that's what it is. It's just not documents, and maybe they're actually images. It's just the wrong data type. That could be it. So let's see if I have images. I want to see if that is a data type we have here. I don't think so, but I could be wrong. Image, EC2 server image. That's all stuff that I've created, I think. Let's see. What are? Hold on. Let me. Why don't I have Slack open? Come on. Oh my goodness, my Slack is just being difficult. What I want to know is, I'm gonna add, because if they're stored in that folder, I'm gonna ask internally what it is. It should be, because the reason why I think it's odd that it's not documents, because if I create a report and do test report, right, and then if I do documents, maybe they're file references. That could be it, and I'll try that one. But if I go to document data source, and I go to, let's do entity name, and we'll do by file extension. File extension. Document type, I think that's the file extension. Haha. So we got PNGs. How many do we have here? Maybe it's file reference because they are stored. Okay, there's like 1,000. So that means I got one more. Preview image. So they're all PNGs. Okay, so I don't think it is documents. App Store. What's that one? Backup preview image. Okay, so it must not be this. So here's the other thing. Let's test out. Let's see if it is file reference entities. That would be the other type of stored image it could be. And it might be that because it is stored file reference entity, because it is stored inside on the server file system. So we'll go to entity folder ID. We're going to go to equals. Let's see, shared image folder. Okay, cool. And then I just debug this thing. No results. Asking an expert in a bit. Sorry, that's why I'm not talking too much. There's something, I know it's somewhere here. I'm just not sure. Because is there an image? That's not a file reference entity? Okay, so image service. So we go internal services, administration, talk about features. I'm assuming it's all local. Nope, all services. And then the image service. Image service, this one right here. Oh, so you utilize this, get image. Ooh. Okay. Sure. Okay, cool. So, or a document. Got it. Okay, cool. Cool. That's what I thought. Yeah. All right. So I'm curious what this one is. Let's see if I get value. Let's play around with this for a couple seconds. But I think there's a way you can return the bytes. In this case, from a guest. Res JSON. I like how it's JSON, but it looks like it's like XML. But I have to know the image ID already, and I don't. Let's go back to here. Get any image, store image. Search shared images. Output type, and you get a list of image document. User context abstract. I'm wondering, it could be this is how you get it. Another thing you could do is in the server file system, I think it's C drive. If we go to program files and we go to decisions and we go to, I want to say it's file storage, primary, and it should be, it's not any of these are just temp files. Data store, no, it's just form sessions. I think it's got to be in decision server. Images, boom, right here. They are stored here. So what you could do, they're stored as SVG, so you may have to convert them. But if you store them in your decisions portal, and then you can access that document URL that way, that's one way to do it. Or you can reference the image service here to get the document that you're looking for in the search shared images. And so you have a get and post call that you can make. So what's the post call? File to search. Oh, cool. So it looks like that will get you that one right here. So that's probably what you'd have to do is create a local call. I would try this way over the manual drag over the one you want.
Gotcha. So I've got to, how do I haven't used this before.
So all you do is just make an integration to this, right? So like it's
Gotcha.
yeah, so it's like you go to localhost and you go here, and if you get images, I can create data types and integrations, external services, REST service, and then you just type in this stuff, right? It's the same as putting like any other integration. Or that's not the service name. Server URL is gonna be this. This is gonna be like get my image stuff, right? And then you can go to save the integration, and then you can add the method that you're looking for, and then the method would be like the other half of this, and then that would be the parameters you put in.
Gotcha. And how do I access this page?
You can access the page. So this is going to be, you can, this will be in settings, which you don't have, but what you can do is change. Let's see, I'm gonna post this in the chat for you. So what you can do here is you have to change some of this. So where it says HTTP localhost 8083, that's just my localhost. If you change that with
We
your
can use
base
our
portal,
server name.
yeah, exactly. Just change that to yours, and that's gonna be the same path.
Okay. And file to search, what's the parameter? Like, what is the file to search?
That's the name of the file, I presume. So
Gotcha.
if you know that, like, hey, we want to use with a fishing rod, right? You can search for that, or scarf, suitcase. Then it will pull that image. That's what I would presume.
So these are going to be on the SVGs. So like when you are inserting an image into a document, I guess to understand what's happening in the background, you insert the image, you choose the image from your shared images library, and you can resize and recolor, and that changes the file name that it puts in. What's happening in the background to make that happen?
You want to change it?
Could you just create a form and throw an image on it?
Sure.
Maybe I'm probably not explaining it appropriately.
Yeah, that's fine. We're all learning.
So if you drop an image and then use a static image and then search for Flask right here, back on the edit button. So this is referencing 005 Flask PNG, but when you change the color, it adds the color code, and you change the zoom, it changes the 100/100 to the zoom ratio that you want to change it to resize the image. So that's changing the PNG name, but all of the references that we're pointing to are SVGs. Do we have to do the data manipulation to the image on the SVG after we pull it in from that?
Not sure. That'd be something, once you get that one configuring, that would be something to test, because as you can see here, this one outputs an image document, right? So the image document, what I can do, let me show you this. So right here, I'm going to just create data and just of the image document type. Test. Image document, that's gonna be the data type, right? This is its own data type. And so if we want to know, like if we have those options, just click build data, and then we have folder ID, image ID, and name. So it looks like it's just hey, there's where it's stored, that's the image, and that's the name. So it doesn't look like it has those specific parameters to alter or change it. It just grabs you what's inside of it.
Gotcha. Okay.
So if there's one, let's see, we can look for some other ones. Let's see, get image from document. Let's see, I want to say what is get this from document. So this just gets the byte array from that document from getting the ID. So I don't think that would be helpful. Entity image, get image from URL. That's just if you have a URL associated for it and you get the get known color name. So this could be if you combine a couple of these. User context, color name. You can get the color from it. Or maybe this allows you to change it. It would be testing around and seeing what the get stored. Oh, there we go. Look at this. Get stored image by size and color. So you can get the color, the stored image by the ID. Then you can set the width and the height, all that stuff. So it looks like this would be the one you're looking for over here.
Take a screenshot of that since I don't have access.
Yeah, I'll also post it in the chat too. So you got it.
Appreciate it. And the stored image ID, I can get that. There's another endpoint for getting the stored image ID, correct?
Yep.
Is that the original one you dropped?
Yeah, the
that
shared
returns
images.
image data.
Yeah, that one, it allows you to search and get all the shared images, I presume, and then you get a list of image documents, and then you get the document ID from that you can then use to get the stored image ID.
So the image document from the first endpoint will give me the stored image ID?
Let's confirm. I believe so. Yep, image ID. So see how I just
Okay.
image document. So you get image ID here, and then you use that for later.
All right. Perfect. I will work on that and see if I can get that rolling. Appreciate the help.
Sounds good. All right. Jonah asked, what is the best way to handle ingesting data from a JSON from a REST API call into a flow? Let me allow you to talk, Jonah. You can give a little bit more detail. The best way, is there a specific context that you're struggling with, or I mean, it depends on what your use case is.
Well, the use case is just an API, making a REST API call and just trying to map the data to a form in one specific case where we're testing that, and just still very new to the platform. So just kind of looking for some guidance on that. Follow documentations, just hoping to get some more information beyond that.
So question, are you calling an external system or are you calling
Yes.
decisions? External system.
Calling
Okay.
an external system, and it's returning back a complex JSON object.
Okay, cool. No worries. So then what we would do there is anytime you're dealing with external systems, I want to see if maybe I can find some example JSON data. JSON, there we go. Let's go to W3C schools. All right, cool. We got this one, name, age, and car, right? Don't know what this is, but we're going to use it. So I got this, this type here. What I can do is let me see if I can, I'm also going to prettify it with Notepad++, so that it's just kind of, in an easier format. All right, so then I use tools. I always forget how to do this. Plugins, convert, JSON tools, pretty print. Haha, look at that. That's so cool. All right, cool. So all I did, I'm going to show it. All I did was I just prettified it. So we got our JSON type. So you can say, like, let's say this was our composite type, for example, or the data we're getting back, right? So I'm going to move this around. We're going to go back to the Decision Studio. Then what we can do is we can create a data type from an Excel or JSON, and you create types from JSON. And I can say, this is my example type. And then once I paste that in there, it will create a data type called example type or whatever you name it. And then you can use that to map into your form or to expand in the individual properties to grab that information for your form. Because essentially what this does is it creates a decisions flow structure in the background, which allows you to open up the individual properties to grab age property, the car property, the name property inside of it. If you don't want to deserialize it and you want to work on it with a serialized form, I don't know why you would, but let's say for some odd reason you may. We do have several JSON steps inside the tool where you can get a path from the JSON path of value. And there was another one I was looking at. Wasn't this one? Oh yeah, get JSON value from by name. So if there's a specific piece of property you just want from that and you don't want to create a data structure, then you can do that, just that. And I believe it just outputs you the value associated with that name. So there's a couple ways to do that, but I always recommend, it's just easier to create a JSON data structure type, and then you can have it accessed a lot more easily via that way than manipulating several steps to get just the value you want.
Thank you. That's super helpful.
Awesome. My pleasure. There's also a document I'll send you over. Documentation. Differences between data. Nope. Where is it? Oh, it should be like understanding or something. Talks about the different data types. This isn't what I'm looking for. Well, Clemens, oh, never mind there. I was like wondering if we changed it. This is just a document that goes over all of the decisions data structures, and it talks about the flow structure, which is the one that I was talking about here, which allows you to just create composite types from XML and JSON. So it's easy access. So if you want to have that one in your back pocket, that's the document where I get all my information from.
Thank you so much. This is great.
Awesome, my pleasure. All right, Jeremy, you said I have 2 questions about permanently deleting things. Go right ahead.
Yeah, mainly like I've noticed like you delete flows, forms, and things, it just soft deletes them.
Yep.
I didn't know if there was a mechanism to have the system purge those completely at some point, or how that would work.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is a great conversation to have. Let me go into my system. So there's 2 ways to do it. So yes, you are correct. When you delete something, so for everyone on the call, what Jeremy is referring to is, I don't want this flow, get default images because I don't need it anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to delete it, right? Now, what this does in the background, there is a property on the element registration table for all designer elements that just say is deleted. It's just a Boolean value. When you right click and delete one of these designer elements, it just sets that thing to true. But to Jeremy's question, right, if I go to my folder view and then I say, let's show or change the folder view, and then I say, I want to see deleted, you'll see that, oh, it's still there, right? It's not gone. It still exists in the system. You can still recover it. So what is the option here? Well, to make it deleted, you can set it to the archive date. And then once you set it to the archive date and it reaches that specific time, then it will archive that object, meaning like it's gone, and it will be permanently deleted. Now, this has a broader discussion that we'll need to have, which is what do you want to do with your deleted data? So for example, let's say you're keeping track of data, your database is getting large and it has valid data, and you don't want to just delete like, customer, not necessarily customer information, but your data that's historical in nature, right? So in later versions of Decisions version 8, we have archive entity settings that you can enable. And then you can enable a strategy that says, hey, I want to, after 30 days, just delete it, or I want to move them into another location. So for example, this might be an archive database or something of that nature. So it depends on what your company's policies are on like holding data. You'll want to talk with your ops team to maybe configure that, but these are the 2 areas where you'd configure that. So you have 2 options, right? One, if you enable this, it's going to delete after 30 days and then it will be gone. You can increase the time to 2 days or whatever. And then if you want to just move it, then you have to talk with your ops team on where you want to store this other location. Typically, our customers will put this on another database or cloud storage so that you can still get that data information if you need it, but it's no longer hogging up live resources in your environment. So that's kind of the broad review of like archiving.
And that'd be something that you'd have to manually do on each of those designer elements that you want to permanently remove.
So this would do it over forever. This is for the entire system. So if you change these settings here, so let's say if I leave it to delete and I set it to 2 days, then that means after 2 days if I've deleted something, then it will be purged from the system.
But it would just see the soft deleted stuff. That's not, you don't have to set any other parameters, because I think I was reading the documentation that once you activate this, it only runs on things that are marked as archived.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah. Or I
So
think
I'd have
it
to,
might be is deleted, I think. I think it's on is deleted, because it says here, archive one items that are deleted or moved can't be restored. So I think it's on delete, but I could be wrong.
yeah, the documentation specifies that once you enable this, it actually creates another right-click action, but only on process folders and case entities.
Only
It
on process
specifies
folders.
those two types.
Oh, okay, so it's only on those two where that happens. Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
Which is my second question, but my first question is just on the designer entities, designer elements.
Yes. Yeah, I think based on that, did you have that document that you can pop into the chat or?
Not right in front of me.
Okay, I mean, I could probably look it up because I want to make sure that I'm speaking accurately on this.
Jared, it's in the chat for you.
Look at that. Thanks,
William
Will.
posted it.
System settings, farm person choose to delete, move old and active processes. Okay, warning, is it irreversible? Only transactional data, I gotcha, yeah. So only transactional data can be archived for this. Okay, so it looks like it only applies to transactional data like process folders and case entity records and stuff like that. So then, let's do this. We can stare longingly in each other's eyes for this test. I know, it's gone. I know, I deleted it. It's fine. Let's go ahead, change with deleted. I'm gonna set the archive date. What time is it? It's like 12 something my time. Can I not set it to 12 p.m.? 12:28 p.m. Or 12:29. Let's see if I can do this quick. 12:29. No. Save. And let's see if that gets removed. But I still want it to show hidden. Or just show deleted. 12 deleted. I know it's deleted on that. Page view. All right, refresh. Deleted. Refresh. I wonder if it matters the seconds to it. Well, let's see. And as we wait, I'm just gonna look up deleting designer elements. Designer elements. Yeah. Because I believe it should, once you set it to archive, it should go away, but I still see it. Unless something changed over. Run, okay, so that just runs for that day. Archiving file, that's just file archiving entities. It's the same document we're just looking at. All right, so let's go back here, flows. And change, we'll do deleted. And it's still there. Hold on, let me ask somebody.
I'm the only one that can take them.
Yeah, it's something I was trying to find. I thought I remembered in previous versions, like earlier versions of 8 or even just in 7, that there was some system settings specific for this where you just tell it the type that you wanted to look at, but maybe I was misinterpreting that back in those versions because I can't seem to find that anymore.
So when he got his pen,
All right, let me check a couple things. Archive settings, I think it's all at the top.
I don't know. That's why.
If I enable that process, archiving strategy. Yeah. Post your email in the chat, Jeremy, because I'll just email you. I want to do a couple investigation on this and see if it's something weird in my version or something. But yeah, I think theoretically, when you set to archive, what I'm hearing about when I talk with some of my coworkers is that once you set that as deleted, it should delete. It should apply to every entity in the system, not just case entities or process folders. But I'll confirm that and send you an email about that.
Yeah, because I mean, I do have a lot of stuff we've been just for a while, and I know there's stuff that is just hanging out in the background.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of came up because one of our newer projects that we're working on is for an application process. And at the end of the application season, the office wants all that old data purged. So we were going to use case entities. So the folders, I know they just get soft deleted. So I was researching how to permanently delete that information at the end of the application season. So it's no longer there for liability reasons.
Sure. I think through a flow. Hold on, let me. Here's another one. Let's say delete item. If we use a flow, there's a delete entity step. And I think this actually purges it from the system. So if I grab constant, and let me grab the old flow that still exists that didn't get removed. And I believe those flows actually do remove it there. So if I go here, deleted, and I go to, let's undelete this flow. Okay, cool. So now it's back. But let's say I want to remove this. Manage, get flow ID, which is the entity. I'm going to go ahead and pass in the ID here, paste that there, and then delete it. And then I'm curious to see whether that actually removes it and purges it entirely, or if that just sets it as is deleted. I think it's going to set it as is deleted, but I'm not sure. Yeah, it just says as is deleted, so it doesn't permanently purge it. Okay, I'll do some more research and I'll reach out to you about that.
That sounds good. Yeah, because I was looking at the archive entity settings and there's case management settings, which then you can specify specific case entities that the archive stuff happens to. I just didn't want to start setting things and then things I don't intend to be deleted start getting deleted.
Yeah, totally understandable.
Because I know in the case management stuff, it was saying if cases are in a state that is marked as a closed state, those will get archived. I'm like, I have stuff like that is sitting in those. I don't want to accidentally delete things that shouldn't get deleted. Exactly. So I just wanted some more clarification and knowing I'm not going to cause problems as we move forward.
Absolutely. Yeah, great question. I'll definitely research and you'll get a long email from me of like the details of that, so you can make the best decision for your company.
Sounds good. Thank you, Jared.
My pleasure. Thank you. All right. Any other questions?
Hey, Jared, Carter again. Can you flash up the screen for the search shared images one more time, just so I can take a screenshot of that?
Yeah. Let's see, I was in features, I was in all services, and there was shared image service. Image service. Image. I'm gonna view integration detail. Come on, local, don't fail me now. View. Which one did you want?
Search shared images.
Search shared images. Search shared. There we go.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep, my pleasure. All right. Any other questions? All right. I don't see any more questions, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this lunch and learn so we can get this uploaded to the YouTube channel. Thank you so much for attending. Tomorrow we'll have Robert. He'll be hosting the next lunch and learn, so please join that one. He'll give you some great insight and great information. So appreciate everyone's attendance, and I'll see you guys next time.